Hello and welcome to today's video where I'm going to be talking about the Serenity palette from Cosmic Brushes. I was finally able to get my hands on it. It was actually like the second restock of the palette. It was such a hot commodity. I mean, it was so hard to get your hands on this one. I believe it's still been selling out every time it restocks. And this is my first palette from Cosmic Brushes, and I was very excited about this color story because, I mean, look at it. It is so beautiful. It has some grungy colors, some deep colors, as well as some pastels, and the shimmers look like they were going to be absolutely beautiful and pair really nicely with this color story. So I'm going to be creating 3 looks, and then at the end of the video, I'll give you some of my thoughts. So let's get right into it. Priming with the Gimme Glow eyeshadow primer. Taking Mood on the outer corner. Just kind of tapping it on first. And then I'm going to take a somewhat cleaner brush and taking Awake. I'm just going to use that to blend that out. A little bit more out here, and then I'm going to go back in with this brush. I'm going to have to clean it up this way a little bit, but I'm just going to take it up a little bit higher, just kind of switching between the brushes and just leaving whatever's on them. I'm not dipping back in. Sorbet. This is such a fun, vibrant color. I love this in here. Really great addition. Just kind of blend them a little bit right in the center where they meet. And then I'm going to take some NYX Glitter Primer and going to go and going to do a little bit of a half cut crease situation with that. I'm taking Twilight first, and that's actually going to go right on the outer edge, and I'm going to blend it into the actual matte as well. The shade is definitely like not the sparkliest, but it still looks like it really packs a punch. And then I'm gonna go in with another brush. This one is from Glam Shop. It's the 100 brush. And I'm gonna go in with Serenity right next to that. And then above all of that, I'm taking the shade Opal. This is such a beautiful, smooth, iridescent shade. And I'm just blending it downwards to make sure that it's blended with everything. And I'm going to go back in just a little bit of Twilight. Really keeping it deepened out here. I'm taking Mood underneath my lower lash line just to connect, but I'm not going to take it all the way. I'm just going to take it a little bit in, and I'm going to leave it like that. And here's the first finished look. haven't dipped into all the mattes, but the mattes that I did use were all super, super beautiful. Absolutely love the mattes in here, and I cannot wait to play with this palette some more because I find this color story very, very inspiring, and I think you could really come up with some out of the box eye looks with this palette. I didn't have to treat the mattes any differently than I usually apply matte eyeshadows, which I always very much appreciate when a formula works the way that I use eyeshadow. I give the mattes a 10 out of 10. So onto the shimmers. I think some of them are a little bit more shiny than others. Specifically, Twilight is a little bit of a strange shadow, definitely a little bit more prone to hard panning. It doesn't really have too much of a sheen. I really wish that this had been actually switched out for another shimmer. Odyssey is beautiful, Ether is beautiful, Wander is beautiful, Serenity also a little prone to hard pan, but that one is really nice and shiny, and Opal is just like a really nice iridescent shadow. I do feel like this one came on just a little bit more like powdery compared to some of these other shadows. And I also did want to mention the very first look I did with this palette. I wore it for a couple of hours and I had really, really bad creasing, and I did use the NYX glitter primer for that look, and the shimmer shadows just disintegrated on my lids. Now that is pretty common for me because I do have hooded oily lids. However, it is definitely not ideal, especially with using the NYX glitter primer. So the other looks that I did with this palette, and I used the shimmers, I just misted my brush with some water, and that definitely seemed to have helped with longevity, though I did not wear those other two looks as long as the first one, so I can't completely speak on longevity. It was definitely wearing better in the first 30 minutes than the first look where I used the NYX glitter primer, so that is something to keep in mind for sure. So I'm not really like the biggest fan of the shimmers. I'm definitely going to be reaching more for the mattes in this palette. So let me know in the comments below if you were able to get your hands on this palette and what you think of it. If you have it, do you plan on picking it up? And that's everything for this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you subscribe. There's so much indie makeup content, lots and lots of tutorials uploading my channel, and much more to come. You don't want to miss out. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.